Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's December 23rd, 2018. With Donald Trump's recent ban on bump stocks, we should be as concerned as ever about gun confiscation. Here's how it might actually go down. And then we're going to tie it into this here, the Hemisphere program. So, let's get started. And this is from Organic Prepper via or Selco. He, I believe, is Croatian or one of them Balkan countries over there by Russia that's collapsed. I'm going to hit the first paragraph here, and then we're going to get right down here into how it might actually go down. He says right now is not the rise of communism. Stalin is coming. I do not think this all... And this guy, he's foreign, so he writes a little funky. I do not think all this news is about the rise of communism in the United States. And I also do not think you still live in a land, or I do think that you still live in a land with a lot of great rights and liberties, which we do to a degree, but I don't think he understands just how much they've diminished here. He said, what is not cool is the fact that you are moving in the direction of slowly shrinking those rights. And it's not happening slowly anymore. They're doing it seemingly day in and day out. He says that he sees something here that's more dangerous than communism or the fear of it. It is how people react to news or new laws about any weapons limitations. It's how they talk about what the majority of them are planning to do. And that's a big mistake. If you hear some news about them coming for guns, you shouldn't get online talking about what you're going to do, because that gives them exactly what you're going to do. You should keep your mouth shut. And in the first place, if you buy your gun off the black market, you don't have to worry about them coming for your gun because they don't know. But government at its core has an urge to control you in whatever means they can. If you're more aimed, that means you are, or if you're more armed, that means you're less controllable. That's what it's all about, is being able to exert more and more control over you. That's why they want your weapons. They want your weapons to kill you. And then whoever's left after a giant purge will be more controllable if they're disarmed. That's the whole point. You should not be screaming from the rooftops about how you're going to defend your right to have a weapon. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you're not doing yourself any favors. That puts their eyes on you. But how gun confiscation might actually go down. First, you'll be labeled as a felon, a terrorist, or mentally ill. You'll be looked at as some weird guy who wants to overthrow the government. Maybe your photo will be posted somewhere saying that you are very sick and that you pose a danger to society. Do not underestimate the power of the government machine, because if they want you, they will get you. They will lock you in the deepest, darkest hole. So keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. And I'm saying this to my commenters, okay? Don't say anything else. Because they read this stuff. Keywords get posts flagged. You may truly be a fighter for constitutional rights and a real patriot, but in 3 days you could become a crazy terrorist that citizens will actually hunt down and shoot like a mad dog. And they will. They will hunt you down and shoot you. The law enforcement apparatus doesn't even have to do it. The law-abiding, the patriot, if you're labeled as a terrorist and your picture is plastered all over the place, one of these people will end up gunning you down without even knowing why, without even talking to you to find out. That's how bad groupthink is. He says the point here is there is no point of publicity. Yelling about what you own and what you're going to and what your rights are to own. Of course, you need to own weapons you think it makes sense to own. But why does everyone else need to know, including your government? Which is, again, why I tell you, buy the weapons under the table. And, of course, hide them. Hide them well. Again, all they have to do is find a trait that's common among all gun owners and then make that illegal, turning all those people into felons overnight and demanding they turn their weapons in. And for those people that this doesn't apply to, they will help hunt down those other people. Then we get over here to echelon, or I'm sorry, did I say echelon? Hemisphere. And you should also not say anything on the phones of any kind, landline, cell phones. If you need to talk about something serious, you should be doing it face-to-face, in person, or on an encrypted type network. But Hemisphere. The Hemisphere program is where AT&T assists federal and local law enforcement in assessing and analyzing its massive database of call detail records, information on phone numbers dialed and received, as well as the time, date, and length of call, and in some instances, location information. Now, just imagine what they could do with that information. If you're a gun owner, this could be used against you. So you don't only want to not be screaming from the rooftops about what your rights are and what you have and what your intentions are. You also don't want to be making any kinds of plans on the phone. Let's see. More specifically, Hemisphere has access to telecommunication information, or, telecommunication switches operated by AT&T that guide telephone calls, because other providers use AT&T switches for their calls. The database contains call details records regardless of carrier. The database has records concerning local, long-distance, cellular, and international calls. AT&T embeds employees with police agencies in at least 3 hubs: Los Angeles, Houston, and Atlanta. These employees run the software that searches and analyzes AT&T massive phone database. Cops from around the country contact their regional hub to get the records, and federal officials can query Hemisphere without first getting permission from a judge. And again, this Hemisphere program can be used to help track down dissenter gun owners who refuse to obey new gun laws. Let's see here. It's said to be Google on steroids. That's what they called it in one of these letters here. Yeah. They say Hemi is nothing more than a super search engine, Google on steroids, as it were. A software record search developed to reach into numerous stovepiped databases, coupled with analysts who knows what we, law enforcement, are asking for, as well as how to interpret their confusing raw record data. Apparently, they filed a lawsuit, EFF, and got some of these records. And this is all being used against you, the law-abiding citizen, who will eventually dissent on gun confiscation. One more paragraph here, and we're going to wrap it up. There used to be a law about weapons here where I live before the war. And yes, you could own a weapon, but it was such a hard law that actually too many people owned legal weapons. And right when SHTF, the first thing that happened was the confiscation of legal weapons based on lists of who owned legal weapons. Do you see why I continue to harp on buying your weapons under the table? So, thought I would share this with you. I really hope you all have a good Christmas, a good day. And by the way, he was a survivor of the Balkan War of the 90s, the author of this particular article. Hope everyone has a good day, good Christmas. Till next time, kill the state before the state kills you.